Hello and welcome to PGTV News. Here are our top stories. The city of Lakeland is preparing for future storms. Find out which position they're looking to fill.
Could Lakeland Electric switch from coal? Find out what changes are recommended and what city officials have to say.
Hello and welcome to PGTV News. I'm Stephen Barnes.
And I am Tina Mann. The city of Lakeland is looking to hire an emergency operations manager. The city's 2020 fiscal year budget will include the funds for the position. City Manager Tony Delgado said, "We came to learn after Hurricane Irma that having a key person to coordinate and be a liaison between departments would be a positive move." The emergency operations manager would be expected not only to coordinate services and activities of the city's various departments, but also with other municipalities in neighboring cities, Polk County, and possibly reaching up to the state and federal levels. City officials anticipate filling the position by October.
Very good. You know, those types of positions are important to have. I mean, obviously you think of the need for them during the storms, but throughout the entire year, the training that can be provided, the preparation, not just for bad storms, but for all kinds of emergencies.
Right, and people don't realize just how much goes on behind the scene throughout the year at the Emergency Operations Center.
Absolutely.
From coordinating accidents and fires and any kind of conjoined relief.
Yep,
so.
Absolutely. Well, Lakeland Electric could soon be switching to natural gas or solar power. Joel Ivey, general manager of Lakeland Electric, said he will recommend that city commissioners move forward with decommissioning the coal-powered CD McIntosh Unit 3 at the May 6th Utility Commission meeting. In the past, utility officials suggested the city would be best served by keeping the 37-year-old generator running as long as its maintenance costs didn't outweigh the benefits. Well, according to Joel Ivey, the investment for maintenance is the biggest Lakeland Electric has made in a very long time. Mr. Ivey said Lakeland Electric must consider the long-term environmental impacts of continuing to operate the CD McIntosh Unit 3. The coal-powered generator produces 3 times more carbon dioxide than natural gas. There are also residual materials and wastewater produced by burning coal that must be monitored. Commissioner Justin Troller said his own research shows that there's approximately a 150-year supply of coal available, and that he wishes to have further conversations on whether moving away from coal is the best economic move for Lakeland.
Sometimes it comes between what's best economically and what's best for the environment.
Yeah.
So I think that that's an important consideration to make.
Yeah, certainly some factors to weigh out there.
Speaking of the city of Lakeland, they will be conducting a survey with residents and businesses to help determine the community's need for high-speed internet. Residents will have until the end of May to complete the survey. Surveys have been distributed by email to a geographically diverse set of residents and businesses within the Lakeland Electric Service area. City Manager Tony Delgado said, "This survey will help the city make important business decisions regarding offering high-speed internet services to Lakeland residents." Sustainable economic development, growth, opportunity, and innovation are dependent on affordable high-speed internet access. This is an essential criterion for Lakeland to become a world-class community. The city of Lakeland wants to ensure the community has an affordable broadband infrastructure necessary to meet the needs of the residents.
Well, and they've got a good start over there in Lakeland with all the fiber and everything that they have connecting the city. But of course, if you're talking about getting the type of bandwidth needed to support all the residents in the city, that's a big task.
It's hard to believe that when we were growing up, we had old AOL.
Beep, 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 beep. All right, well, the city of Lakeland will begin a shoreline restoration and stabilization project to repair and stabilize approximately 220 linear feet of severely eroded shoreline along the northeast side of Lake Mirror. The repair will include the utilization of dredge socks technology. The dredge socks liners will be installed and then filled by dredging organic lake bottom sediment to repair and restore the eroded shoreline. Sod will then be planted over the dredge socks material. A second phase of the stabilization project will include the planting of native aquatic plants along the project area. The aquatic plants act as a natural shoreline stabilizer that will help prevent future erosion, as well as provide the benefit of improving water quality in the lake by the uptake of excess nutrients. The project is scheduled to begin mid-May 2019 and will take approximately 6 weeks to complete.
Let's hope they start that after Mayfair by the lake.
That's kind of a neat concept to put something. It's almost kind of like what they do with like the landfills and stuff to retain what's there to keep it from leaking out. You put in this material that will allow it to keep from washing away. Yeah.
Well, Florida Southern College recently welcomed Harvey L. Massey, Chairman and CEO of Massey Services, Inc., to give an executive lecture on the topic of leadership lessons during a luncheon event on the Florida Southern campus. Mr. Massey is an industry leader with more than 55 years of experience in the service business. He started his career in 1963 and being steadily promoted to management and executive positions within Orkin Pest Control and Terminix International. During his presentation, Mr. Massey shared 2 inspirational ideas from statesman Winston Churchill that have guided his personal approach to business. On the topic of philanthropy and giving, Churchill said, "We can make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." In concluding his talk, Mr. Massey also reminded his audience, success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that truly counts.
Some good words of wisdom there by a great community leader.
Very good words of wisdom.
And you know, Florida Southern, they always have such good events. You know, these
They really do.
Special guest speakers and good lectures. Well, have you heard of LULAC? It is the League of United Latin American Citizens, and it's the oldest Latino civil rights organization in the United States. It was established on February 17th, 1929, 90 years ago. Recently, LULAC opened a new chapter in Lakeland, and PGTV was there for the festivities. District Court Judge the Honorable Virginia M. Hernandez Covington spoke about how LULAC played a part in her life.
What I really am so grateful to LULAC for was when my name had been posted as to be a United States District Court Judge, would have been the very first Hispanic judge in the Middle District of Florida. And I reached out to people like Matilda, and Matilda said, "Oh, we have to call LULAC." And you know, Brett Wilkes, whose picture you saw, Brett, came up to my confirmation hearing, and I had the support of LULAC. So I really appreciated that. So you can say that LULAC played a role in making certain that we had a Hispanic judge in the Middle District of Florida. As I said, the very first one.
It's pretty cool to have such a historied organization move into Polk County. I know that they've had chapters all over Florida, but it's nice that that they're going to be here, being the voice of the Latin community.
Right. Now that's important because that is one of the demographics that's growing the most rapidly here in Florida is the Latin American community.
Yeah, and they've really focused a lot on building community, and that was nice to hear. The state director was actually at the event, and she talked about the importance of building community and sharing culture through love and kindness. It was a good event.
Let's all be kind. Florida Polytechnic University recently held the Florida Poly Game Expo. Students showcased student-created games using cutting-edge technology like virtual reality, network gaming, and simulation. Fellow students, faculty, and guests played the games. We spoke with a couple of students and a professor who told us about their experience creating games for the expo.
So our game is called Bumper Cart Madness. It's a multiplayer platform where the aim of the game is to knock your opponent off the edge. We have options such as you can choose the color of your car, the make of your car, and your name. And the last player standing wins.
Hello, I'm Christopher Poole showing off the adventures of Cinegraph. This game is a poker roguelike type game on Android devices, which will be released in about 2 months now for $1 on the App Store. The game is a mix between poker and roguelikes, and it involves you playing poker-type cards onto the battlefield, which allow you to deal damage to enemies. The game also has very minor story and deck-building elements.
Florida Poly Game Expo has been going on for about 3 years, but last year we revamped it, and it's basically to showcase the talent we have at Florida Poly with our game development and simulation concentration. So behind me, the students who are in Game Design 2 this semester and independent teams, or students who are working on their own, are showcasing their games. I'm very proud of them. The showing today is really good. Game 2 focuses a lot on networking, which is much more difficult to create or program than the classical single-player game.
Some pretty cool games highlighted there in the package.
Would have been fun to attend.
It's pretty impressive what these kids are doing and the skills that they're developing in the science and technology fields.
And keeping our technology
it's great to have.
alive.
I mean, it is so great to have a school like Polytech here in our community.
Definitely.
Amazing. Polk County Public Schools will be holding a job fair on Saturday, May 4th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Tenorock High School. If you or someone you know is interested in teaching, the district is hiring teachers and other educators for the 2019-2020 school year. Once again, the job fair is Saturday, May 4th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Tenorock High School, which is located at 4905 Saddle Creek Road in Lakeland.
The Haines City Area Chamber of Commerce has undergone a name change. It is now called the Northeast Polk Chamber of Commerce. Executive Director Alana Stripling said, "The area is growing fast, and we think this is a strategic move that will help us grow as a chamber, as well as bringing added value and networking opportunities for our business members and the community." Ms. Stripling also said the change represents membership from outside Haines City, such as Davenport, which doesn't have its own chamber.
I think this is great. I think this is genius.
Right.
What a good idea to kind of change it to what it really is. I mean, they're branching out so far beyond Haines City. It only makes sense to change the name.
Rapid growth rate means changes are needed.
Absolutely. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 77 of Polk County is holding a boating safety class on April 27th from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the Polk County Sheriff's Command Center, which is located at 3635 Avenue G Northwest, Winter Haven. The course will cover boating law, safety equipment, safe boating practices, navigation, boating problems, trailering and storing boats, hunting, fishing, water skiing, and river boating. A little bit of everything by the guys who know best. Registration is $35 per person at the door or $30 per person in advance. You must email Gil Thomas at gthomas901@msn.com. Again, that's gthomas901@msn.com to reserve a spot. Bring a sweater and a bag lunch. Students must be at least 10 years old. Anyone younger than 17 must be accompanied by an adult.
Gil Thomas knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
I know he's been recognized here at the board meeting several times for boating safety.
Yep, and we've had him on some of the shows talking about the flotilla and all that's going on, so yeah.
It's a great opportunity.
It'll be a good class for sure.
Well, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we will have a sports update.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Welcome back to PGTV News. It's now time for sports. Neil's not here today, so we have the pleasure of covering it for you this week. The Lakeland Flying Tigers have a record of 7 wins and 6 losses and is currently in second place in the Florida State League North Division.
The Lakeland Tropics opened their USL Division II schedule on May 12th against Palm Beach. You can catch that game and all the Tropics home games at Bryant Stadium.
And Southeastern University's baseball season is almost over. The Fire have a record of 40 wins and 7 losses. Currently, they are first in the Sun Conference. Way to go, guys. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in.
Remember to tune in again next week for another installment of PGTV News. We'll see you next time.